All right, welcome freshman warriors. Okay, so thank you for participating in this webinar with the theme SWAG 2022 Warrior's Guide to Resiliency in the Face of Adversity. I am Ms. Grace Gallardo Gonzalez, one of the guidance counselors and your host today. And I hope that you will enjoy learning from this webinar as much as we enjoyed preparing this for you. All right. So let us formally begin with the opening prayer to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, kailas ng silanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, bulit ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mag-aapi, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
All right. To give the welcome remarks, I would like to introduce you the Director of the Guidance, Counseling, and Career Services Office, Dr. Maria Leonila V. Orea.
Fun Friday, freshmen! Transitioning to a new milestone in one's life is not always easy. It entails anxiety, discomfort, and frustration. That is why we created various activities which will ease these feelings and help you adjust seamlessly to the new stage of student life. Though the experience is particularly different now because we are still traversing the tide of the pandemic, we believe that all of us will thrive. We are here to support your virtual campus and academic pursuits so that you can and will be fully integrated into the UE school culture, the warrior way, sons and daughters of Luwalhati. Today, we are graced by resource speakers who are alumni who have been successful and inspiring in the life, career that they chose. We know that you would be able to get some nuggets of encouragement as you try to redesign your mindsets in the learning reality that we have now and in the foreseeable future. So watch, listen, and interact even on this limited platform. If you are watching on our Facebook page or even on our YouTube channel, we hope that you make use of the chat box for you to ask questions later on. And together, let's recreate the kind of learning we have known before into this remote and online reality. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Dr. Orea. But before we begin with the talk of our dear speakers, allow me to present to you, and I hope you enjoy, this short video on the 8 dimensions of wellness.
Wellness is an active process of being aware and making choices toward a healthy and fulfilling life. Wellness is more than being free from illness. It's an ongoing process of change and growth. There are 8 dimensions of wellness: emotional, environmental, financial, intellectual, occupational, physical, social, and spiritual. Each dimension of wellness is interconnected with the others, and all are equally important in the pursuit of optimum health. One can reach an optimal level by understanding how to maintain and improve each dimension and by creating balance. Understand your feelings. Express them to people you trust and maintain a positive outlook. It's important to pay attention to self-care, relaxation, stress reduction, and the development of inner resources so you can learn and grow from your experiences. Find surroundings that encourage good physical and mental health, and also where you feel safe. A positive environment has a calming effect. Environmental wellness inspires us to live a lifestyle that is aware and respectful of our surroundings. Make it a point to understand your finances. Money plays a critical role in our lives, and not having enough impacts health as well as academic performance. Establish good financial habits and plan for the future. Be a lifelong learner by expanding your knowledge and finding creative outlets that stimulate your mind and sense of curiosity. Be open to new ideas, insights, and wisdom. Actively participate in scholastic, cultural, and community activities. Look for satisfaction from things you're passionate about, whether they are part of work, school, or volunteering. Find ways to engage in occupational endeavors and feel appreciation for the value in your contributions. Reduce your risk from many illnesses by increasing activity levels according to your abilities. Get restful sleep at night, choose healthy foods, and explore the outdoors to reduce stress and increase energy levels. A sense of belonging and a reliable support system help during difficult times. Make at least one social connection daily. Seek advice from peers or support groups and create healthy friendships. Enhancing your connections to self, nature, and others brings balance and peace to your life. Disconnect from distractions and be mindful. Discover what values and beliefs are most important to you. Striving to maintain or make small improvements to the 8 dimensions of wellness is the key to your overall health. The pursuit of continued growth and balance in the 8 dimensions of wellness will lead to a better quality of life. In this module, you will explore each dimension and how nutrition plays a vital role in being the best you.
Okay, I'm back. So I hope you enjoy the video. As you have seen, wellness is not just about our physical well-being. No? Being well consists of many elements, and that is what our dear speakers will talk about today. So I have invited 3 wonderful people who will be sharing their thoughts and experiences that we believe would inspire you, considering the many challenges we all have ahead. So the 3 speakers will be introduced by my fellow guidance counselor, Miss Anne Joycel Inverso.
Thank you, Miss Grace. Good morning, everyone. I have the honor to introduce our guest speakers for today. Our first speaker recently passed the bar exam, a full-blooded Red Warrior from basic education to his Juris Doctor program, where he finished with distinction of class salutatorian in batch 2020. He graduated summa cum laude in his undergraduate program, Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, where he also was awarded as one of the college distinguished graduate awardee of College of Arts and Sciences, Manila campus, and was a nominee for the Most Outstanding Student of the Year. He previously trained in the Office of the City Prosecutor, Department of Justice, worked as a court decongestion officer in the Regional Trial Court of Caloocan City, Branch 121, and currently an in-house counsel of Vista Land and Lifescape Inc. A multi-achiever, consistent scholar, and soon to publish his book entitled Primer on Ordinary Civil Action and Appeals for the Bench and the Bar. To talk about getting things done the Warrior's Way, let us give a warm virtual applause to Attorney Joseph Manuel Descalzo. Our second speaker is a former president of the UE Peer Facilitators, consistent scholar, and one of the founders of the UE Blaze. He graduated Doctor of Medicine last 2020 from UERMMCI, where he was one of the recipients of the UETYK or Tanyanki Scholarship and was the president of the UERM Agape. He also graduated magna cum laude in his undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology. He is currently working as an ER doctor in San Mateo Medical Center. To talk about resiliency and self-care, let us give a warm virtual applause to Dr. John Aldrew Mendoza. Our last but definitely not the least speaker graduated with a degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics, a straight program from De La Salle University. He's also a UETYK scholar. He also earned a degree in Master of Arts in Teaching, major in Mathematics from University of the East, where he is was also a recipient of President Francisco Dalupan Sr. Scholarship. He finished his undergraduate degree of Bachelor of Science, major in Mathematics as magna cum laude, and still was a recipient of UETYK scholarship. He is part of the faculty members of the College of Arts and Sciences, was a department chairperson for Department of Mathematics, Statistics, and Library and Information Science, and currently the College Secretary of CAS. A hardworking, a spiritual person, and a dear friend to us. To talk about cultivating the attitude of gratitude, let us give a warm virtual applause to Dr. Rodman Manala. Now, on to our first speaker, Attorney Joseph Manuel Descalzo.
Manila Orea, GCCSO Director, our beautiful guidance counselors, Ms. Ann Inverso, Ms. Grace Gonzalez, Ms. Diane Rodriguez, and Ms. Lira Daza, and our dear first year students, a blessed day. Foremost, I would like to apologize for not being able to be with you in real time because I have a scheduled hearing today. So I just requested if I could have my speech in a pre-recorded manner. To be candid, it took me the whole day to think whether or not I will accept the invitation to talk today. Because modesty aside, every time I am invited to talk, there is still a part of me that thinks that I am unworthy to be a guest speaker. But a close friend of mine told me that maybe they saw something in me that they wanted me to share with all of you. And so that's the reason why I accepted the invitation today. Our theme today is entitled Student Wellness Promoting Attitude of Gratitude, or SWAG, Warrior's Guide to Resilience in the Face of Adversity. I was asked to share my effective study habits, positive attitudes, and useful life skills when experiencing difficulties or problems. Since they did not give me a guideline as regards how will I conduct my speech, I want to be as informal as possible with all of you para you'll be able to grasp what I'm trying to say easily. So I divided my talk into three parts. First is study habits, second is positive attitude, and third, useful life skills when experiencing difficulties or problems. Pero disclaimer lang ha, everything that I will be sharing with all of you, ito ay based on my personal experience in college and in law school. Kasi baka mamaya kulitin nyo ako, sabihin nyo, scammer ako na, attorney, sabi mo ganito dapat gawin. Ginawa naman, hindi naman effective sa amin. So, ayun. But I hope that at the end of my talk, you will be able to gain at least siguro one or two ideas na might help you throughout your college journey. So let's start. Dito sa study habits, bago pala yun, I would like to tell you na every time I conduct talks like this, I always make it a point to make mnemonics or yung word na madaling maiintindihan ng aking audience para mas madali nila maintindihan at matandaan yung sinasabi ko. So, study habits, I just want you to remember the word plan. Plan. So, ano ba sabihin nito? Preparation, learning, application, and nurture others. When you say preparation, I want you to set goals as well as quota. This method was actually taught to me by my friend who is now a Psychology graduate. So, ano nga ba ang goal at quota? Goal, ito yung gustong-gusto mong ma-achieve. Yung pinaka-dream mo, kumbaga. Whereas quota, ito yung something lower than your goal, but if you achieved it, you will still feel a sense of fulfillment. So once you are done identifying goals and quotas, you begin to sort them out. Is it for long term or is it for short term? Example, in my case, in college, my long term would be what I want during my graduation. So ano yung goal ko during my graduation? Because mind you, I planned this during my first year in college. So I have 4 years to plan. My long term is to graduate with Latin honor. Ano yung quota ko? My quota is to graduate on time. So meaning to say, even if I did not graduate with Latin honor, if I graduate on time, I will still feel fulfilled. So yun yung long term ko. Yung short term ko, I devise it every semester. So, example, for this semester, my goal every semester is to have a general weighted average not less than 1.20 in order to reach my long-term goal, which is to graduate with Latin honor. But ano yung quota ko? Short-term quota. My short-term quota is not to have a failing mark every semester. Why? Because my quota is to graduate on time, and I can only do that if wala akong failing marks. Same with law school. My long term is to graduate with flying colors. My long-term quota is to graduate on time. So ano yung short-term goal ko? My short-term goal is to have a general weighted average not less than the quota to have a flying colors. So ano yung short-term quota ko? My short-term quota is to finish the semester without a failing grade. So what is the purpose of goal and quota? Well, this has something to do with the famous quotation na shoot for the moon. But even if you miss the moon, you'll still land among the stars. Why? Because we are all humans and we are not perfect. There will come a time na you will fall short of your goal. But do not be disheartened because everything has its perfect reason, everything has its own time. God's plan is the best plan. Just to share, when I was in high school, I really wanted to be the class salutatorian. But, I only graduated first honorable mention. So, hindi ako graduate ng salutatorian. It was only after 8 years, during my law school graduation, na naging salutatorian ako. So, yun yung sinasabi ko, God's plan is the best plan. So, ayaw siguro ni Lord na maging salutatorian muna ako ng high school para at least mas savor ko yung victory ng law school because law school is, ayun, I do not want to say it, but it's it's more fulfilling for myself to graduate salutatorian in law school than in high school. That's just for me, ha. So, yun dun ko na ano yung God's plan is the best plan talaga and God's perfect timing. So, next is letter L nung plan ay learning. You have to realize that you are in school to learn and to study. While I concede to the fact that making friends and creating peers while in college are important, but you have to bear in mind that the primary reason why you are here at the University of the East is to learn. The reason why your guardians, parents, or any person financing your education, the reason why they are working very hard to send you to school is for you to learn and to have a better future. Kaya sana wag niyo siyang baliwalain. Of course, hindi natin maalis ang love life, but ika nga nila, di ba, diploma muna bago landi. Pwede kang lumandi, pwede kang mag-boyfriend, girlfriend, but you need to make sure na ang priority mo right now in college is to study and finish your school. A stands for application. It is true that the best way to remember what you learned is for you to apply it. For you to better understand all the theories, all the principles, you have to apply it in real life. Pero wag mo naman gagamitin yung algebra para hanapin mo yung mga y's. Bakit hindi kayo nagtagal ng x mo, ha? Wag yun. Next is letter N is nurture others. Ito for me, it saved me. It saved me in college and in law school. You have to create your own group. You need to nurture one another. I know it is a little hard right now because no physical interaction due to COVID restrictions, but thankfully, because of technology, there is Zoom, there is Facebook, there is Messenger. You can still interact and find your circle, but sana yung circle na hahanapin nyo ay yung circle na meron kayong same goal. Gusto ko lang i-share na when I was in college, I had 10 close friends and we all graduated on time. And 9 out of 10 of us graduated with Latin honors. And during naman law school, I was fortunate to have 6 close friends, and we all graduated at the same time, and we all passed the bar examination at one day. Ayun, kasi dito papasok yung thought na kung kaya nila, syempre kaya ko rin. But that kind of mindset is only good if you are using it as a motivation to strive further para sabay-sabay nyo ma-reach yung vision nyo. Wag na wag nyong gagamitin yung mindset na yon to create crab mentality or inggit sa sarili natin. Because ang crab mentality, hindi siya maganda in all aspects. Because it would create anxiety, it would create frustration, it would create enviousness, alam mo yun, hindi siya maganda mentally and hindi rin siya maganda sa mga taong nakapaligid sa'yo. Kasi for sure, if they find out na ikaw ay may crab mentality tinataglay, of course, lalayuan ka nila and you will be excluded. Kaya as much as possible, sana alisin natin yung culture na crab mentality. Also, when I say you nurture others, you need to share what you learned from to other people. Because it is in this way that you are not only helping others to learn, but you are also trying to minimize, if not completely eradicate, illiteracy in this country. As they say, diba? When you learn, you teach. When you get, you give. Now we go to positive attitude. Sa positive attitude, ang gusto ko lang i-take nyo in mind is the word yes. Ano yung sabihin ng yes? Y stands for you remind yourself that you got this. E stands for enjoy what you do. And S stands for self-encouragement. You remind yourself that you got this. Ako personally, sa study table ko during college and law school and during bar review, meron akong corkboard. Nandun lahat ng motivational quotes na nakita ko online or Bible verses na help me boost my morale. Normally kasi at times when I feel exhausted, I browse the internet and search for motivational quotes or Bible verses. And then, yung mga ano ako na maganda siya for myself, I write it on my sticky notes and then post it on my corkboard. Naalala ko lang, while I was reviewing for the bar examination, I came across a quote which says, one day, you will tell your story of how you overcame what you went through, and it will be someone else's survival guide. I hope and pray that you all continue to pursue your dreams despite of all the adversities that would come your way, with the assurance that you will properly be trained in this university in order for you to be equipped for the world. Your journey may take years or even decades, but remember, what is meant to be will always find its way. It might not be under the same circumstances as you originally hoped for, but you will get there. Do not stop believing. The temptation to quit will always be highest just when you are about to flourish. So just keep moving forward. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, if you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. For letter E, I want you to enjoy what you do. Steve Jobs once said, the only way to do great work is love what you do. When I was at your age, actually very confused on what to pursue in life, probably because we had no transitioning period or the K to 12 back then. Right now, with the help of K to 12, I really hope that you are already certain of the path you're taking of on the course that you have now. But mind you that I have several friends who shift from one course to another and they are still very successful now. So in other words, it is not bad or it is still okay not to figure out what you really want just yet. Pero wag naman kayong mag-shift agad after nito, baka akong sisihin nila. But kidding aside, andyan na kayo eh. Ilaban nyo na. Pero, if deep inside you, you feel that you are destined for something else, and that will give you sense of fulfillment, then so be it. Like ako, imagine I graduated hotel and restaurant management and then after working for a year at the hotel, I realized that maybe hospitality industry is not for me. So I enrolled myself to law school and now I'm a lawyer. So yun, because at the end of the day, it is you alone who will be benefited or prejudiced by your own life decisions. Letter S stands for self-encouragement. I call it as self-pampering or what millennials call it as me time. Okay? For every achievement, you reward yourself. It doesn't have to be grand. It does not have to be expensive. Siguro ice cream pwede. Like for example, mataas yung exam mo. Ikaw highest. Pinuri ka ni teacher kasi maganda yung presentation mo. You reward yourself. Bili ka ice cream, bili ka ng food, or sine ka, labas ka, milk tea ka, coffee ka, Starbucks. Likewise, every time you fail to achieve your goal, you also treat yourself. In other words, good or bad, treat yourself. Do not be too harsh on yourself. You know why? Because your best friend is yourself. You must love yourself first. As they say, make yourself a priority. At the end of the day, you are your longest commitment. Sa sarili mo mahanap yung hinahanap mong forever sa iba. It is you and you alone who is in the best position to uplift your morale. Okay? So do not be too harsh on yourself if you failed to achieve your goal. Number 3 topic is useful life skills when experiencing difficulties or problems. This time I want you to remember the word pray. When you say prayer, remind yourself why you are here, ask help, and for why you didn't come all this way to stop and turn around. Prayer. Whatever religion you have, I think we can all agree that really prayers move mountain and I can attest to that. So when I pray, I ask for four things actually. Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual preparedness. And that for the Lord to take the will. Because like I said, kung ano yung plano natin, if it is not in accordance with His plan, it would be useless. So might as well just let God take the will. Just to share my favorite Bible verse right now, Proverbs 3:5. Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. For for letter R, remind yourself why you are here. There are times na you will question yourself if everything is still worth it. Most especially at times when things do not go as planned. But always remember that the what ifs and should haves will only cause you anxiety and frustrations in the future kung hindi mo sila ginawa. So might as well do it now. Do what you fear. Do what challenges you. Because, like they say, it always seems impossible until it's done. Just brace yourself and do it. For A, ask help. This seminar today is made for you to realize that our guidance and counseling office exists to help each one of you. I personally constantly visited the guidance office to ask for counseling while I was still studying at the university. Special mention to Ma'am Anne, who had been my guidance counselor since high school. Mind you ha, even during law school, pumupunta pa rin ako sa kanya to ask for advice. Actually, you can tell them everything, be it your love life, be it school problems, family problems, depression, everything. You just have to be open. Mental health is very important, especially now that anxiety and depression are rampant. It is not enough that you are physically and spiritually stable. Like I said, as much as possible, you strive for four things: physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional preparedness. A piece of advice lang, when you talk to them, be yourself. They are here to help each one of you. Lahat ng sasabihin niyo sa kanila, strictly confidential, so you do not have to worry. I assure you that. For letter Y, you didn't come all this way to stop and turn around. We are all warriors, correct? Palaban tayo. Giving up should never be an option. Pansin ko kasi sa mga millennials, mahilig din kasi mag-compare. And guilty ako nito before, but I realized na hindi dapat. We all have our own pacing in life, and we have our own time frame. Siguro yung iba mas madaling umasenso sa buhay, mas mabilis. But like I said, we all have our own time frame. Huwag ka sanang mag-compare, and as much as possible, remove crab mentality talaga. That's the goal. Remove crab mentality. Before I end, I would like to share my favorite poem entitled Invictus, written by William Ernest Henley. Actually, trivia lang in all my speaking engagements. I always end my speech with this poem because this poem really inspired me and continues to inspire me up until now. Here it goes. Out of the night that covers me, black as the peat from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbound. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, dooms, but the horror of the shades, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my faith, I am the captain of my soul. I fervently hope that you all learned something today, and it has always been an honor to speak in front of you all. May God bless us all.
Thank you, Attorney Descalzo. And now let us all listen to Dr. Aldrew Mendoza.
Good day. Welcome to SWAG, or Student Welfare Promoting Attitude of Gratitude, Warrior's Guide to Resiliency in the Face of Adversity. Today, we will be talking about wellness and self-care. So, who am I? I am Aldro Mendoza, a doctor, a graduate of UE Manila with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology last 2016. Also a graduate of UERM College of Medicine batch 2020. I passed my physician licensure exam last March 2022. Now currently working as an emergency room physician in San Mateo Medical Center. Am I qualified to be giving this speech? Honestly, I'm not sure. But to tell you, I was a happy student despite the hardships, especially in medical school. I think that can make me somehow an appropriate speaker for this topic. I hope. So, welcome to our freshmen to a new season in your life. I know it can be difficult and stressful. I hope I can help you somehow to go through all these stresses and academics and school life with some ease. So let's start. We should, as a start, we should acknowledge the situation. So, Are there problems? What are your problems? What makes it difficult? What takes up most of your time? So, in order to solve something, we should know that there is something to be solved. So, we should be acknowledging the situation. There are a lot of problems for a student like you. More than just a student, you are also a child. You belong to a family, you belong to a social class. So, more than the academics, there are also problems with your relationship, your finances, and a lot of other stuff. So, I can understand that there are a lot of problems. Although, with this talk, we will be focusing on the academic aspect or the stresses that the academic aspects brings your life. So, what problems do we have? We usually, or I personally, have said this many times as a student. I have no time. There's too much work to do. I am not motivated to do anything. And I'm too tired. I went through med school with a lot of readings, and personally, I can say that I wasn't able to finish most of my studies or most of my readings. And that's because I lacked motivation, or I was mostly procrastinating. But did it bring me stress? Yes. I was stressed then. But with how, looking back, I think I don't want to do that again. But I think I was happy then as well. I was happy being a student. Now that I'm working, I still want to be a student. So cherish your time as students and appreciate what you have now. Because sooner or later, you'll get old. Don't rush things. So, a concept in the problems that we mentioned earlier is time. So, the first problem is time. So, we have a list here. This is literally a list from Google when you search time management skills. We will be tackling them one by one with emphasis on some of them. But first on our list is prioritizing. So, prioritizing. We have a jar here. So, fill a jar with golf balls. And you can say that it is full. You will think that it is full. But fill it further with pebbles, filling in the spaces between the golf balls. You can still say that, or you can still think that it is full. But fill it up further with sand. And then again, you can say that it is full. This jar is just like our life, with the golf balls as the important things like family, our education, or jobs. The pebbles are also important things but lesser than the golf balls. Then, the sand is the small things in life, the trivial things that can also be distractions and simple things. We should learn to prioritize the important things. Imagine putting in the sand first, or the small things in the jar first. Then, there would be no space for the important things or the golf balls of our life. Prioritize what is important to save both your time and your energy. Next, for the problem of time, is goal setting. We should have our goals in mind. As for time, we should have a plan in accomplishing our tasks. Short-term goals include what we want to do in a day or week or even the coming months, like our assignments and requirements that have deadlines. Also, part of this is what we want to achieve in the short term, like do we want to get the top score in an exam? Do we want to be the top of our class? Do we want to make more friends? Just set a goal. Also, in setting goals or in goal setting, are long-term goals. We should also be thinking about them, whether it be about our career, relationships, our financial plans, among many things. What do we want after we graduate? What do I want to achieve while I'm at school? You may end up asking yourself, am I in the right path? Which we might want to answer as early as now to avoid regretting our decisions. Next in the problem of time is scheduling. Scheduling and short-term goal setting comes hand in hand. It is practical actually to keep a schedule with you. As college students, we are given a schedule of our subjects, and it is very practical and useful to not get lost when you should be attending your classes, whether it be online or face-to-face. But we should also include in our schedule our tasks that we need to do. That way we can keep track of what we should be doing, what we should have been doing, what should have been done, and to not miss out on any deadlines or anything at all. So the next ones in time management are decision making, delegation, problem solving, strategic thinking, and multitasking. Decision making is a factor in prioritizing, also in delegation, not just delegating tasks to other people, but personally for ourselves, delegating our time and energy on what we should be doing. Problem solving and strategic thinking are partners and are key in how we do our tasks. Multitasking, well, is actually a bit controversial for me as it primarily depends on a person if they can do it. Younger generations, or younger people, as yourself, tend to be more capable multitaskers. But sometimes multitasking can be unproductive as it takes too much energy and shifting focus or shuffling yourself in between tasks. And you are also prone to mistakes. With this, I advise to practice multitasking with caution. Next problem, energy. We're always too tired or we have no motivation to do anything. It's very common. So with this, one solution I thought of is rest and reward. Rest is just as important as doing your tasks. Not just physical rest, but also mental, emotional, and spiritual rest. Finding your space and your own time to rest is important. You should know yourself, know what gives you joy and satisfaction. Use this knowledge to rest. Some people like to spend time alone when resting. Some people socialize. Some people play video games. These are all good when done in moderation. Of course, we are still students. We still have our tasks to do. We still have our responsibilities. Anything too much for you can be toxic. Even rest. May it be your stress or your rewards. Well, another topic, procrastination is another thing. That's why we have actually a concept of reward. For me, I claim to be a procrastinator. Well, actually, I am a procrastinator. Well, being a procrastinator, we aren't always lazy. Sometimes we are just too anxious to work, and I motivated myself to work by rewarding myself so that I can start with small steps or tasks or big tasks can be accomplished through small steps. I use rewards as a source of positive reinforcement to motivate myself to finish what I should finish. For example, I am also a very slow reader and I struggle with it especially when I was in med school. What I would do is I would buy myself a bag of chocolates and I would eat one chocolate after every 1 or 2 pages. If it is a long reading or long quick reading, I sometimes reward myself every 5 pages. Well, in med school, we do have a lot of readings. Still in the concept of reward, bringing back the jar of life. So the jar now filled with golf balls, the important things, pebbles, the lesser important things, and the sand, the small things. We can still fill it up with any liquid as represented by the coffee here. I know that the original concept used alcohol, but for now, let's use coffee. The coffee symbolizes the fun in life. Prioritizing the important things in life does not mean leaving out the fun. We should still make time for fun. And lastly, the concept of forgiveness. We should learn to forgive. In school, there will always be, or commonly, times where we will have a conflict with our classmates, even our professors, and this can be very stressful. We should learn to forgive because staying mad at someone will only waste your time and energy. As college students, we are already too busy. But also, it is common among people to be hard on themselves, on ourselves. We should learn to forgive ourselves as it is okay to make mistakes. You are here to learn and not to be perfect. To end, there is this verse from Exodus chapter 33 verse 14. The Lord replied, "My presence will go with you and I will give you rest." This verse was originally for Moses and the people of Israel as they are going out of Egypt. Imagine the stress they are experiencing. I would like to relate this stress to people who are entering in a new environment or a new season in their life, such as going to college. This verse reassures us that God will be with us and will give us rest. Remember to always trust in Him and pray. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aldro Mendoza. And the last but not the least, our very own, no? Dr. Rodman Oman Manalang. Please give him a warm welcome.
A blessed and glorious day to everyone. It's always a pleasure for me to be invited by friends from UE Manila Guidance Counseling and Career Services Office. It's also a wonderful privilege for me to share this virtual space to my fellow College of Arts and Sciences Manila alumni, Atty. Descalzo and Dr. Mendoza, whose success stories are truly inspiring and undeniably encouraging. Iba talaga ang tatak CAS Manila. But of course, tatak UE. I am Rodman Flores Manalang, a proud CAS Manila BS Mathematics Batch 2007 alumnus. I've been with the University of the East for over 14 years and counting. And with those incredible years, I served the institution in variety of roles. Aside from being a faculty member, handling mathematics and statistics courses, I also become a faculty advisor for various recognized students organizations such as the UE Mathematics and Statistics Society, the UE Jam Sessions, and for the school year for UE Blaze, the Students Organization for University Scholars and Achievers. I stay current in mathematics and mathematics education by participating in numerous mathematics organizations in the country. And currently, I am the secretary for Math Teachers Association of the Philippines Tertiary Level Chapter or MTOP-PL. I also gave various presentations and lectures to math teachers and math enthusiasts around the nation, and serve as a trainer for Metro Manila teachers who are teaching the GE course Mathematics in a Modern World. Last 2019, I was appointed as the department chair of the Mathematics, Statistics, and Library and Information Science Department of the College of Arts and Sciences, Manila. And just last month, I assumed to be the college secretary of CAS, Manila. When Ma'am Grace invited me to be part of this discussion, I replied, "Why me? Perhaps she knows me so well and she's aware of all the struggles and not so beautiful experiences that I have silently battled. I may not be the most qualified person to discuss about gratitude and good attitude, but I can say that through my fair share of winning and learning in life, I learned to be thankful not because I don't have any choice, but because I know it is the greatest decision. If there's one expression that I like the most, that is thank you or salamat in Filipino. The finest things in life, they say, are free. And expressing things, such as this simple statement, can be the nicest gift you can give to someone, especially if done with pure sincerity and honesty. Not only it will make that person feel appreciated, but the light feeling in return is unexplainable. In this talk, I will be sharing my fondest memories as a student and experiences now that I am a working professional that has always brought me back to my core. That is to be grateful, even for the most simple things and not so good times. But why it is necessary to be grateful? How are we going to benefit from this kind of attitude? Truly, there are unlimited reasons to be grateful, but it all comes down to one simple reason. Having an attitude of gratitude makes you live in the present moment with true happiness and contentment. I always remember a simple yet meaningful and impactful quotation whenever I hear the word gratitude. That is, I cried because I had no shoes. Then I met someone who had no feet. Sometimes we want so many things in life just to be happy and to be contented for a moment. But what will truly give us inner peace and lifelong satisfactions are the simple things that are always within our grasp. Over the uncountable reasons to be grateful in this presentation, I will list down my top 5 reasons to always be grateful. First and foremost, be grateful to the Lord. We may have different religious beliefs, practices, or teachings, but what we have all in common is our deep faith in higher powers. The COVID-19 pandemic strengthens that faith. We've watched our friends' profile images change into lighted candles for the past couple of years. You may personally experience the pandemic's wrath, but the fact that you are still here at this very stage, at this moment, is more than enough to thank God. We sometimes ignore them since they are always around, but life has a way of making us appreciate our support group. It could be your family, your friends, a mentor, special someone. These are the individuals who will push you, who will not only encourage you, but will also serve as a constant reminder that you are capable. They can put you under pressure at times and stress you, but I suppose it's a good kind of pressure because these are the ones who will then build you. One piece of unsolicited advice I never get tired giving my students is to build a dependable and good support group. You will be exhausted at some point. You are you will be tempted to make social media content instead of doing your homework, to play computer and mobile phone games instead of studying for an examination, or simply hang out somewhere rather than attending your limited face-to-face in school. It's all normal to get tired and rest for a while. What is not normal though is when you fully submit to these temptations. And this is where the right support group makes a difference. Your support group should be positively encouraging rather than tolerating you, should focus on long-term goals rather than short-term gratification. Finally, should motivate you to achieve something worthwhile and not give up easily. The right support group simply make you feel as if no one should be left behind, and you will appreciate them much more in the future when you realize that it's because of them that your dreams came true. Thirdly, we should be thankful for every opportunity that comes our way. Being here at UE allows you to develop your full potential and become the best person you can be someday. As cliche as it may seem, Not many students are afforded the same chance. So we hope and pray that you are grateful to your parents or guardian for this opportunity, and we hope you will not waste it. In one of his hit songs, Eminem emphasizes that opportunities come once in a lifetime, and it's up to us to either seize them or miss them. Those who are granted several opportunities are fortunate, but for many, it is now or never. Choose the braver option. Whenever you are in this situation, take the opportunity and give it your all. If you succeed, then you will receive the benefits of your efforts. But if you fail, you don't actually fail. It's more of you learn, and this serves as a lesson that will prepare you for your comeback. After all, we do not want to live a life filled with regrets and what ifs. Life is not always a walk in the park. Even fairy tales include happy and sad parts. You will not understand it now, but there will come a time when you will appreciate your life's disappointments and difficulties. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Stars are the brightest in the darkest hours, and the best view can be seen after the hardest climb. There have been instances when I prayed to God for something and worked hard to obtain it, but in the end, I failed. I remember asking myself, why did I fail? Why did God allow me to fail? It wasn't easy at first, but God works in miraculous ways. Perhaps He let me experience that setback to prepare me for this moment, to be a testimony that in life, challenges are not meant to destroy us, but to sharpen us instead. A life filled with platonic events is boring. Consider viewing a film with no climactic sequences. Failures and frustrations will not only strengthen and enlighten you, but will also keep you grounded and humble. These these difficult circumstances bring our feet back to the ground, and we will be proud of ourselves for overcoming them. So be grateful for the good and for not so good. Be grateful for everything. I'm sure you had teachers you look up to throughout your journey to formal education. From basic education to now in college, perhaps because of how he speaks, how he carries himself, his teaching technique, or maybe something else. We always have a teacher whom we always admire and adore. I remember going to college but was not sure of what I want to do with my life. I listed BS Accountancy, Electronics and Communications Engineering, and Secondary Education as my top three priority degrees on my college application. But I end up pursuing BS Mathematics because of the scholarship grant that was available at that time. And during my years as a math major, I met professors who not only make mathematics exciting and easier for us, but who are also enthusiastic and who teach not only for a living, but whose care and support for the students are undeniable. That is when I decided I wanted to be like them. It may sound too idealistic, but I aim to inspire and motivate my students to develop a passion for studying and learning. Teachers make or break students' interest in learning. But whether you had a positive encounter with a teacher or not, you will remember them and be grateful for the lessons they taught, either academic lessons or life lessons. Finally, thank yourself for not giving up. The biggest challenge in our lives is to keep going and have a positive outlook in life despite the distractions and the noise that the universe throws at us. So, congratulations to everyone. Many people are becoming interested in mental health issues. However, one of the disadvantages of making it mainstream, particularly for young people, is that individuals self diagnose. All feelings are legitimate. Joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust are all natural emotions. However, if you feel that you need professional assistance, do not hesitate to seek it, particularly from our guidance office. I am not shy to say that I am a regular client of our resident guidance counselor, Ma'am Grace, which is why I couldn't say no to her when she invited me to give this talk. They will gladly assist you as with any other office in the university. A healthy mind is the first step towards unleashing your full and greatest potential. Make your future self grateful to your younger self for persevering in the face of adversity. As a former Tanyanki Scholarship recipient, I was invited to speak to then current scholars. God knows how that scholarship changed my life. Something I had not prayed for, but God has given me. As part of my speech, I said, this opportunity made me realize the value of helping and supporting each other. I may not be able to support scholars financially yet for now, but with my ability and capacity as a teacher and individual, I would inspire them to be the bearers of hope and assist them whenever I can. That scholarship and opportunity serve as a lighthouse for me. Its brightness illuminates my life, for which I shall always and forever be grateful for. As a result, I feel I need to give back to the community. To give back not because it is required, but because I want to continue the circle of people helping and inspiring each other. That is why I started my personal advocacy, Pray and Serve. It began as a website comprised of ordinary people's testimonials with the purpose of uplifting readers whenever they had lost hope or faith. If you can feed 100 people, feed one. Mother Teresa famously advised. Life has been generous to me that I want to build a community that supports and encourages one another. Last June, my close friends and I organized our first mission project in a children's facility in South Cotabato, where we deliver the children from that facility school supplies and reminded them of the importance of education and to be grateful. I'm sure when they are able someday, they are also encouraged to pay it forward. Helping others need not to be extravagant or grand. All that is required is a sincere heart and a good soul. There is no huge or small help, since no matter how small we believe it is, collectively, if everyone does their part, this world is not enough to handle it. So no matter how difficult or unfair life is, still think of the infinite reasons to be grateful. Because when we view life through the lens of gratitude, you will not consider it bad in the first place. All you can see are lovely things that will motivate you to face life's uncertainties and believe that everything will fall into place in God's perfect timing. So keep moving, keep going, keep inspiring, be grateful, and give back. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much to our dear speakers. Now, I believe that our freshmen here today have learned a great deal, no, with sharing of their personal experiences. Okay, so now it's the time to answer the questions that you have asked during the pre-registration. So I will now give the screen to Miss Diane Rodriguez to facilitate the open forum.
Thank you, Ms. Grace, and a pleasant afternoon to our speakers, especially to our UE Warrior freshmen. Good morning, guys. So before we begin the open forum, I want to remind our dear participants that we want to make this webinar a safe and respectful place to share. So let us respect the confidentiality of the information and the integrity of our fellow warriors. Thank you so much. All right, so now let's proceed with the questions for our open forum from the pre-registration and the comment section of our YouTube channel as well as our Zoom account. So Dr. Aldrew, here are the questions from our students. So the first question is, what are effective ways of studying for exams that require less time to master the materials we are learning? Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning po. When it comes to learning or studying per se, there's not one effective way to advise everyone because you have to know what your learning style is. Actually, um from my experience in medical school, I was struggling with my own learning style for the first 2 or 3 years, or just the 2 years. Um, you know what works best for you. Some are hard note takers, like they print their notes and then they take notes on them and then highlight them. Some would better appreciate listening in lectures, like myself. Some would like to practically apply what they learn. Personally, what I think is the best way, and not really the fastest way, the best way to learn, just as attorney mentioned earlier, is to apply what you learn um, practically. So um, to find a faster way to master what you want to learn is to know talaga yourself. Know what works best for you. You can, this is a time wherein you can experiment as early as now. Or if better, if you have had an established learning style when you were in high school, just continue with what you were doing then. You can just adjust them with the current demands of a college life. Pero again, I just stick to what I first said, na wala talagang ma-advise na one best way for everyone. You have to know it yourself personally.
Thank you, Doctor. No, so what I got from that is you have to know the best way for you to learn. Ayan. Thank you so much, Doctor. All right. So for the next question, what are the common obstacles that college students encounter and how can we overcome it?
For college students, well, we did have a different setup before when we were studying face to face. I understand na currently for freshmen we're only an online setup. Although I did experience some of my years in medical school to be an online setup. So I'll focus on that aspect. I was pulled out in my fourth year medical school on the start of pandemic. So we had to adjust our learning style. Instead of a clinical or an hospital-based rotation, um, we shifted to Zoom meetings and online activities. So current struggle or current obstacles, syempre, yung katamaran. Sobrang lahat. Nakakatamad gawin kapag online and wala talagang motivation to do anything. Well, to overcome this, yung gaya rin ng sinabi, actually sobrang kulang, pakiramdam ko kulang yung sinabi ko. Although, this is part of attorney's talk pa din. No? Just as you mentioned before, find a circle as much as you can. Find a circle, may it be in your own class, or friends in your real life, what helps in an online studying setup is someone that you can be accountable with, someone that can check up on you and you can check up on them. Report on your progress, yung um, magkaka-check upan kayo kung natapos mo ba dapat yung dapat mong gawin, natapos ba niya yung dapat niyang gawin. And then, you just that accountability, it helps a lot para mag-motivate ka in what you should be what uh, yung para ma-push ka pa sa mga dapat nating gawin. And another struggle pa siguro yung stress, syempre stress ng online learning and stress ng baka hindi mo naiintindihan yung lessons and nahihiya ka magtanong. Yan, common yan sa mga college students, lalo na sa freshmen. Huwag kayong mahiyang magtanong, and I hope, hindi ko alam syempre kung paano yung magiging approach ng mga teachers nyo, pero I hope they keep an open line with you. But if they do, na pag may hindi kayo naintindihan, don't be afraid to ask questions. Kasi gaya ng sinabi ko nga doon sa talk ko, you are here to learn. You are here to not know at first. Talagang hindi naman ini-expect sa inyo na alam nyo agad yung tinuro sa inyo. So kung hindi kayo naintindihan, huwag kayo mahiyang magtanong, and siguro kung maganda kung makasali din kayo sa mga orgs na related sa courses nyo. That way, you can join networks with your upperclassmen. That way, marami rin kayong mas matatanungan pa. Ano pa bang struggles? Sa grades, well, andun na yun sa learning style. And siguro tardiness, common din. And di ko lang sure sa online, pero mas nakakatamad. So, understandable. Alarms are helpful. Ask people in your house to wake up you. Yun na lang. If I can think of more, I'll add more later. Pero for now, yun po muna.
Thank you, Doctor. No? So from what I've heard, find an accountability partner and support to help you out. All right. Thank you so much. So we have another questions, Doc. How do you handle failures in academics?
Well, failures, let's take it step by step, no? There are simple failures like yung mga seat works, homeworks, or small pop quizzes. Then there are long exams. Or ano ba yung tawag sa college? Mga midterms and finals. Pre-term yung una, di ba? Sorry po, nag-iba na yung linggo ko kapag sa med school kasi. Let's take the simple ones first. Simple failures, failure in general pala. Don't discard or wag nyong disregard yung emotions nyo. I know it can be frustrating, so let's hold on to that frustrated feeling. Gawin natin siyang motivation on doing better. And then on what we have failed on, kunwari, may be quizzes or sa wrong answers mo na parang dapat alam mo siya pero hindi mo siya nasagot. It is really frustrating. So dapat mga ganon, ninonote na natin kasi there's always another time that that question or that item will come out like in the finals. So i-note mo na dun ka medyo nahihirapan and then work on it with a little more effort. Give yourself time to improve dun sa mga items or mga other na yung mga items na yun na nahirapan ka. Other aspects ng failure, I think that's all I can answer. Sana. Yun lang po.
Thank you, Doctor. So, ito po, I'm sure no, you've felt this. So, it's good to hear from you. So, how can we cope with burnout or demotivation? And what are healthy coping mechanisms that we can practice no, if we get burnt out?
Sa burnout, yeah, very common siya lalo ngayon online setup. Personally, hindi mo siya, from my experience, from coming from a face-to-face na aral bago mag-pandemic, unlikely ma-burnout unless super stressed ka. Pero pag sa online, with the lack of social interaction, lack of yung parang wala kang makwentuhan, wala kang masabihan. Talagang prone tayo ma-burnout. For burnout in terms of college life, we should take a step back and see yourself in a bigger picture. Kung assess mo lang, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? If you are, then keep pushing forward. If not, don't be afraid to move on. Plus, also, there are resources na available sa atin, lalo na dito sa university. Yung guidance counseling and ano yung CSO, nasa guidance office, laging takbuhan namin yan. And lalo na si Ma'am Grace, alam niya yan, lagi kaming nagsusumbong sa kanya and ganyan. I'm not sure kung paano kapag online, pero kung kaya nyo ma-utilize, just go to them and they will help you out. They advice from someone more wiser. Yung well, wisdom comes with age. Kaming mas matanda. You can talk to us. Makakatulong yon at least when we hear what you are struggling with. And last and not the least, yung faith natin. It is actually a big factor. Personally, syempre med school, mahirap i-describe actually kung gaano siya kabigat na pag-aaral. Sobrang struggle siya, lalo na for me, mahina yung memory ko, mabagal pa akong magbasa. And then, sobrang nakaka-pressure, pressure from everyone, from your surroundings, from peers, from your family, lahat yan nakaka-burnout din. So, yung faith na you know someone is up there looking out for you, that you can depend on him, kay Lord, di ba? In your prayer, you just surrender everything na hindi mo kayang makontrol. And then just keep doing what you do best. Kung paano ka mag-aral, just keep doing you and leave the rest to God. Yun, I think, is the best way to cope with burnout.
Thank you, Doctor. So another question. How to adjust in college life, and can you give us tips on saving money?
Well, sa pag-adjust sa college life, it's really a leap of faith, no? Medyo ibang-iba kasi yung papasukin mo from senior high school, tapos biglang ngayon iba na yung expectations sa'yo ng professor. You'll never know what to expect. So whenever something happens na hindi ka prepared, just learn to forgive yourself. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. Na common magkamali. Expected ka naman magkamali as a student. Pero wag mong pahirapan yung sarili mo na magpapakamukmuk ka dyan dahil nagkamali ka. Be forgiving and be open always to challenges, kasi it's very challenging. Wag ka masyadong wag mo ililimit yung sarili mo doon sa comfort zone mo lang. Be sociable din, kasi nga yun nga, as I mentioned before, finding friends, finding a circle you can be accountable with is a great way to adjust din. Ako, I'm thankful for my friends, lalo na nung I kept a small circle of friends. Although I'm very friendly, pero I kept a small circle of friends that I can trust, na kami-kami yung nagtutulungan, kami-kami yung nag-uusap-usap pag may problema. It's a great way to adjust. And for saving money, medyo funny yung tanong. No? Well, as freshmen, mukhang online pa lang naman kayo. Mukhang mas madaling magtipid ng pera. So, pag nasa bahay, kakain ng nanay. Pero, pag siguro, sige, yan na lang natin ng pag face-to-face na, no? Or kahit sa online. Best way to save money is to stay healthy. Physically, mentally, emotionally healthy. Kasi, well, not just money, no? Yung nasa-save mo rin yung time mo, kasi time is somehow money din for you. You stay healthy by, syempre, eating healthy, keeping yourself sane by socializing or doing what relaxes you. Yun, in terms of resiliency na din to eh. Basically, yun, just stay healthy.
Thank you, Doc. Lazada is waving kasi, tsaka si Shopee. Ayan, thank you, Doc. So we have a question from Zoom. Ayan, one of our students asked, for my question po, what is the best time to study and how to further motivate and inspire ourselves?
Sa best time to study, again, just like your learning style, you have to know it for yourself. I cannot advise you what is best for you. Ako, sige, by example, antukin din kasi. Imagine my struggle no med school na mahirap mag-memorize, mabagal magbasa, tapos antukin pa. I study best in the mornings. I wake up early. And then, I'm not also a coffee person, no? So, yung gising ko na umaga, ano lang, willpower na lang. So, imagine the struggle. Yan. So, best time to study is any time that is available din. Kasi, knowing the younger generation ngayon, very distracted, very online, very social media ang mga taong ito, ang mga bata. So, anytime that you find available in your hands is the best time to study na din. Lessen your time on social media. It adds, siguro to add din sa mga question before, no? It adds on the pressure on yourself, yung expectations na build up with yourself. Hindi lang expectation ng iba eh. With yourself, kung ano yung ina-expect mo sa sarili mo because of social media. And besides that, it takes up much of your study time. So, yung scheduling, i-schedule nyo din yung time kung kailan lang kayo mag-aalaw ng sarili nyo browse ng social media nyo, ng Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Lalo na yung TikTok nako. Yung scroll, it takes up so much time. Ako din minsan parang natatrap, although sa format na kasi ng Facebook, parang TikTok din yung watch nila. Nauubos yung oras. So, really, the best time is what is your available time. And leave out the distractions. And for how to further motivate ourselves, siguro make a goal board. Ano ba yun? Dream board. Make a dream board. And then place it somewhere inconspicuous, yung kitang-kita mo palagi. Or even in front of your table para mas ma-motivate ka. And yung ilagay mo doon, yung talagang dreams mo, yung gusto mo ma-achieve, and yung mapapapush ka na gawin yung hindi mo gustong gawin. I mean, hindi mo gusto mag-aral pero kailangan mo mag-aral. So, parang ilagay mo na doon yung gusto mong yumaman, gusto mong maging ganto, ganyan. Para ma-motivate ka. I think that's a simple way to motivate yourself. Pero, as I mentioned earlier, yung para ma-motivate ka in the short term, reward yourself with the little things that you achieve. Siguro kung may babasahin ka na 20 pages, in every 4 pages, kakain ka ng isang ganyan. And then, it helps. Also, a tip, yung productivity timer, yung Pomodoro timer. It can help for some people, so it does not hurt to give it a try. I think that's my take on that.
Thank you, Doctor. No, share ko lang dun sa dream board. No, it's very effective. I'm on my third dream board already. Very effective siya. Thank you, Doc. Ayan, we have another question po sa Zoom. So, good morning. Ask ko lang po how to cope with pressure from yourself and paano po mag-deal sa failures from your expectation.
Medyo complicated yung tanong. So, expectations on yourself, well, we cannot expect others to deal with this kasi pang sarili natin, no? Expectations on ourselves. Pag ganun, well, more of acceptance. Accepting that you have your limits. Accepting that this is only what you can do. And by accepting does not mean we are defeated, does not mean we are surrendering. accepting yung limits mo no is just similar as acknowledging your limits. That way, alam mo kung paano mo siya ipupush further, paano mo siya i-improve. Kapag mag-expect ka sa sarili mo, syempre, meron kasamang factor dyan yung dreams mo na gusto mo ma-achieve. Well, you should, yun, as I said kanina rin sa burnout, no, take a step back. Tignan mo kung nasan ka ngayon and tignan mo kung saan mo gustong makarating. And it's not an easy journey. Lalo na ngayon, freshman pa lang kayo. It takes, 4 years or more para makagraduate to achieve that degree. And we should always take it step by step. One step at a time, one day at a time, one quiz at a time. So, wag ka mag-expect na pag natapos mo tong quiz na to ay licensed professional ka na agad. Hindi naman. Ganun, no? So, take a step back, know where you are and know where you want to go. Acknowledge your limits na hindi pa ako ganito, pero gusto ko maging ganon. So, parang mga ganyang acknowledgement. And that way, alam mo kung ano yung dapat mong gawin in improving this limit, in pushing this limit. And then, a good way to monitor yourself is monitor your progress. Be accountable with yourself, and better if you can be accountable with another person na, uy, this is my dream and I am still at this level and I want to be at this level by this ganyan. So, papasok din dyan yung sinabi ni attorney na goals and quotas. So, that way, medyo ma-alleviate yung pressure on yourself na ito lang muna yung kailangan kong ma-achieve for this time. There's always a factor of time in what we want to achieve. And yung skills, yung may-measure mo in that span of time na pinapractice mo siya. For personal failures, again, the same. Accept that is your limit. Accept that you're still a newbie, you're still learning. So that wag mong i-pressure yung sarili mo na dapat alam mo na agad. Yun din yung papasok din dyan yung sinabi ko kanina na wag mahiyang magtanong, and kahit na sabihin mong parang tanga yung tanong mo, sorry for the word, it's still a valid question kasi what if hindi ka talaga sure, di ba? Better to ask than keep on making the same mistakes. Yun.
Thank you, Doctor. And for our last question, how can we improve our attitude of gratitude? What should we do or change, if ever?
For our attitude of gratitude, laging, well, I'll speak for myself na lang for this, no? I'm always thankful for what I have achieved. I'm always thankful for how far I have come. Actually, yung journey ko going here is hard to claim for myself. I have received help from many people outside, many people other than myself, no? And to be grateful is to be humble din. Let's not be stuck na parang, nagawa ko to, I'm the best agad. Parang ganun. Let us stay humble para maging grateful pa din tayo. I always credit my success to the Lord kasi very miraculous yung scholarship ko, lalo na nung med school. Just to share, bibilisan ko na lang din. I am a UERM Tanyanki scholar. I received this scholarship since college na na-continue ko until med school. During med school, meron ako maintaining grade na no grade below 80. Ganun. So mas mahirap na kasi siya, kaya no grade below 80 lang. So no line of 7. I received a grade na line of 7 nung second year. So natanggalan ako ng scholarship. But then by the grace of God, na balik by appealing to the foundation. And then come third year, going fourth year, natapos yung third year ko, I received another grade na below maintaining. Pero again, nag-try lang ako mag-appeal, although I was not hoping na ibabalik nila kasi I was not expecting pala. I was hoping. I was not expecting na ibabalik nila kasi I already appealed for the first time. But by some miracle, by the grace of God, binalik nila. And then that way, sabi ko, ang amazing ng ginawa ng Diyos sa buhay ko. Kasi kung pamilya ko yung magpapaaral sa akin, syempre parang grateful ako sa kanila. Pero but this time, it's almost impossible parang kung iisipin na parang ibabalik nila for the second time na natanggal na ako the first, tapos ibabalik nila the second. It's a remarkable thing na hindi ko ma-shake off yung feeling na hindi talaga siya by myself, by my own achievements, but it's from God. So I'm always grateful to God. For everyone, siguro find something na magre-remind sa sarili mo. Yan, something that happened in the past, something that you're always thankful for. Isama mo na lang din siya sa dream board mo, no? Kasi when you're not being grateful, when you're not being humble, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself because you're having a lot higher expectations on yourself. And by not being grateful, you're not giving out the credit to others. You're crediting yourself. So, mas lalong na-elevate yung tingin mo sa sarili mo. Mas lalo kang mapapressure. So, you can see naman na it comes hand in hand. Lahat ng napag-usapan ngayon, lahat ng naging talk ng tatlong speakers, no? You can decrease the pressure that you feel by being humble and by being grateful. Yeah.
Thank you so much, no, Dr. Mendoza, for answering all the questions of our enthusiastic warrior freshmen. And that's all the time that we have for our open forum. Thank you so much to our speaker and to our students. Back to you, Ms. Grace.
All right. Thank you, Doc Aldro, for answering all the questions of our students, no? And as a token of our deepest and sincerest appreciation, please allow me to read the caption of the e-certificates of our speakers. Ayan. Siyempre, we really feel na we are indebted to you tremendously for giving us this opportunity to be with us, even with your busy schedule. So I will just name all our speakers because I'll be reading the same caption. No? So from the University of the East, Manila Campus, Guidance Counseling and Career Services Office, or GCCSO, this certificate of recognition is hereby awarded to Attorney Joseph Joseph Manuel Descalzo, Dr. John Aldro T. Mendoza, and Dr. Rodman F. Manalang for being the resource speaker. Ayan, pakiback na lang po because I lost it. Okay, for being the resource speaker of the GCCSO webinar, Warrior's Guide to Resiliency in the Face of Adversity, Student Wellness Promoting Attitude of Gratitude, or SWAG 2022, given the second day of September 2022, signed Maria Leonila V. Area, PhD, RGC, Director of the GCCSO. Thank you very much. Ayan. All right. Moving on. Next slide, please. All right, so as you can see on the screen, we would like to invite you. No, we did this last year, so we're going to do this again this year because it was successful last year. Okay, so we'll revive it again, and it's very nice naman to do it. So as you can see on the screen, we'd like to invite you to post on your wall, no, in your Facebook, your answer to this question. What are you grateful for today? And don't forget to put hashtag swag and kindly tag us at UE Manila GCCSO. Okay? Share naman niyo yung thoughts ninyo, no? Dito sa question na to, what are you grateful for today? Okay, likewise, Please answer the evaluation survey posted in the YouTube comment section here in Zoom, in the freshman onboarding Google site, and in our GCCSO FB page. Ayan po, nandyan din yung QR code. If you want to scan it now, you may do so. Okay? All right. And lastly, the Guidance and Counseling and Career Services Office is creating an online database of your records. So to ensure that your information is updated and for us to know what services you might need and how we can provide the assistance, we are requesting you to fill up the Google Form Cumulative Record/Needs Assessment Survey by clicking on the link, which we have emailed already to your UE email account. So kung natapos na yung mga iba, it's okay. You'll just have to answer once. But if the others haven't done so, please open your UE email because we have already sent the link to you. Okay, so all right, we have now reached the end of the webinar. I hope you guys got a lot from the 3 speakers. Kasi kahit kami in the guidance office, we got a little bit of tidbits of things that we need to improve, no? Sabi nga, wisdom comes with age, sabi ni Doc Aldru. Pero syempre, along with that, we also cannot stop from learning. Okay? All right. So please join me in singing the UE hymn.
Pamantasan ka naming mahal, ilaw sa kaiglan. Buhay, lakas, bunong damay, pamantasan ka ng bayan. Ang pangalan mo ay malhati at sandigan ka ng pamantasan ng silangan, pamantasan ka naming mahal, pamantasan ka naming mahal, ilaw sa karimlan. Buhay, lakas, lunong naman, pamantasan ka ng bayan. Ang pangalan mo ay luwalhati at sandigan ka ng lahi. Pamantasan ng silangan, pamantasan ka naming mahal.
Again, thank you very much to all of you. And if you have other concerns or questions, please message us by email, guidance@ue.edu.ph, or through our Facebook page at UE Manila GCCSO, or in our YouTube channel. And dyan din po yung mga previous activities namin or webinars that you might want to check out. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. But please don't leave yet. We'll have a short photo op